on your feet. It's the Rebel Hearted Radio Show, the perfect place to set rules, obligations, and expectations aside when you tune in and reconnect with your wild side. Meet your host, intuitive badass, healer, and coach, the original Rebel Hearted woman, Lisa Freed. Turn imperfect action into traction and step fully into the power of who you are meant to be. Now here she is, the badass healer herself, Lisa!
Hey, and welcome to the Rebel Hearted Radio Show. This is Lisa Freed, your host for this afternoon. And I have with me one amazing guest. Her name is Kimberly Lin Pollard. She is the troll tamer. That is the mindset coach who helps you keep the trolls under the bridge rather than blocking your path. Kimberly, welcome, welcome, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's always so much fun. I'm super excited about today. Got to clear up one thing real quick, though. Would you rather me call you Kim or Kimberly?
Either or. Whatever comes naturally.
Whatever comes out of my mouth, which you might... so...
Are we allowed explicit words here?
Yes, we are. We can say what we want. So, before we roll into this amazing show about how and why to be your own BFF, I just want us to really ground into this space and into the energy so that we can bring our very best selves to the show. Are you all right with that?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so Kim and anybody listening, I want you to just kind of give your shoulders a good shake your arms out and roll your shoulders back, sit up nice and tall, put your feet flat on the floor, and we're just going to take 3 deep breaths in through our nose, out through our mouth, and we'll do that together, connecting ourselves to Source, to our own inner self, and to one another. So breathing in. I find that if I take a second to ground, I normally have a lot of energy and I like to bring it, but it always comes from the very best place when I'm fully in my body rather than just spinning it out and around. So thank you for indulging me in that. We decided to talk about how and why to be your own BFF. But Kim, can you tell us a little bit about what you do and what makes you get up in the morning?
My 4-year-old makes me get up in the morning because she's cranky.
Because she's 4. Yeah.
No, but what I do is that I basically light fires under people's asses who like to use excuses to not do what they say they want to do. And they have what I call trolls in their heads, lying to them about what they can do, what they can't, and what they should do. The should troll is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And people they're in a box, and the instructions to get out are on the outside of the box.
I love that. Can you explain to us first off, because when I know that there are a ton of mindset coaches out there and they're doing their thing, but you use the term troll for a very specific reason. Would you mind sharing that with people so when people hear it, they know it's just not some cyber asshole that's like just trying to make trouble on your Facebook status?
Right. Well, there are a lot of similarities between an internet troll and the troll in your head. But the reason I use that term is because I work primarily with women, and we women are very, very, very good at feeling guilty for everything we feel. And I needed a way, first of all, for myself and then afterwards for my clients, to just separate my identity from this voice in my head that was constantly on my case and telling me I wasn't good enough and I was faking it and this was stupid, I was stupid, nobody would like this, everybody would laugh. I needed that distance so that I could better take decisions and take action without that nonsense that's always there. It never goes away. I'm sorry to say, it's always there. But with that distance of like, okay, that's the troll speaking, not me, and this is what I want to do, then all of a sudden it becomes easier. It's like when you have to take your 4-year-old to the doctors. She might be screaming and crying, but you know what you got to do anyway.
Yeah. I like that. And so, like, there's a big difference between the trolls in your head and head bitch in charge.
Yes. Huge difference.
I love it. So, when we decided to talk about how and why to be your own BFF, how did we come up with that? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. I've been relearning a lesson I could have sworn I learned 15 years ago. And between you and me, I really hate when that happens. I thought I was done with this.
Right? Dude, come on. We've been here before.
It's like spiraling around, always hitting the same topics over and over, just at a deeper level. So I've been doing a lot of soul searching this year, and around my theme word, expansion. So expanding my business, expanding my mind, expanding like my knowledge base, all of that. Like my word is expansion. But you know as well as I do, when you want to expand, there's some old stuff that you got to clear out first.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing a lot of soul searching and like shifting stuff around and looking at my stuff. That's always fun. And recently, some friends from way, way back came back into my life. And they brought back, or they opened the door to old habits that I used to have. And I just fell into them so naturally, I didn't even see it happening. And I was feeling off for a while. And this weekend, I think it was Saturday morning, I sent you a text on Facebook, and I told you, like, I didn't even say good morning. And I told you that I had come to some uncomfortable realizations. And what I wrote to you was that, let me bring it up here. I wrote, I keep waiting for other people to put me first in a weird measure of my worth. Meanwhile, when certain people decide they have time for me, I then drop everything to give them the time I wish I was getting.
Yeah, I know this story. Right? I know this one very, very well.
Yeah, and it occurred to me that I keep putting everybody else first in the hopes that they will turn around and put me first.
And how's that working for you?
It's not, like, really, really fucking not.
Like, we're not even getting close to it working, right?
No, and even when other people want to put us first, I've noticed that it's not the way that they don't love us the way we want to be loved or the way that we need to be loved, because they're them and they do it their way, not our way.
Right?
And we can't micromanage that for them.
Which is so. This is so funny to me because I pulled a card, and I was like, I wonder when it's going to show up that it's the perfect segue into this card, and here it is, just like that. So I pulled a card from the deck, Way of the Horse, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful, really in-depth. Really in-depth reading, so I won't go all the way through it. But the card that I pulled is Dominance. And it brings up entitlement, adolescent authority, leadership based on control. And it shows a picture of this horse with ears pinned and mouth opened. A finely trained horse struggles with its rider's expectations. A loosening of the reins now and then helps both members of this team reach a long overdue compromise. The gift of this card is that when you're in a position of power, learning to use your talents to benefit both self and community becomes one of life's greatest adventures. But the challenge is, to become addicted to control is a common adolescent blunder and the ultimate potential downfall of all great leaders, right? And I just thought, yeah, we get in these places where we want to be like, okay, I need you to love me in this very specific way. And if you do not love me in this way, then anything that you have done up until this point will be completely scratched out and defined as null and void because you did not love me in the way that I want.
Proof that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I suck, like whatever your voice is telling you. that you
Absolutely.
too much of or not enough of.
Yeah.
Use that as our social proof that, well, you're not reading my mind about what I want. You're not giving me what I want.
Right?
And it's such a kick in the teeth to come to this realization because it feels like such juvenile behavior. I would like to think that I am above wanting other people to read my mind and to give me what I want when I want it, how I want it. And yet, here we are. It came up again this weekend.
Well, and I was with it, excuse me, I was with it all week last week. I had 4 different people tell me I wasn't loving them the way that they wanted me to love them. And I was like, shit, I'm a failure. I'm a horrible friend. I am not loving that person the way they are needing it. They told me so. And between conversations with you and Kita Sinove, I was like, man, we just got to learn how to love. Like, if we're looking for love from somebody else, we got to figure out how to give it to ourselves. And you and I started talking about, like, how do we become our own BFF? What's that look like? Right? So even if we are the coach or the expert or the, grand poobah, then we still are figuring this out over and over again. Just helps us to be better of service. But at the time that we're going through it, man, oh man, that's like a comfortable stick with a great big groove that we use it to beat ourselves with, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So why is it so easy to be such a good friend to other people, but not us, not ourselves? What's your take on that?
Well, the first thing that bubbled up was that I don't have, like, if I'm so busy being a really good friend to somebody else, that opens the door to, I don't have to take ownership of my own shit. I can just ignore it, right? Because I'm busy and I don't have time to do that self-reflection. And B, if I'm not looking at my own stuff and I'm not meeting my own needs, then it leaves another door open, which means that I can blame somebody else that my needs aren't being met because I'm busy meeting somebody else's needs, right? And it just is this great big let myself off the hook and everybody else off the hook unless I'm busy blaming them. Like, unless it's their day to be blamed. Everybody's off the hook.
For everyone listening, that was a big troll.
Right? Like a big one. He blocks up the light.
Yeah. Whenever you have an excuse handy to let yourself slide, that's a troll. That's not you.
Right? Head bitch in charge would be like, whip crack, get
kidding.
back. Under the bridge. Under the bridge. Why do you think it is?
I think that I don't hear my friends' inner dialogue. I'm not in their heads 24/7 hearing how they're beating themselves up like I hear myself. So they're more worthy than I am. Because I'm not having that constantly playing for them like I do for myself.
Yeah.
And now my trolls are going, I can't believe you said that out loud.
And it's recorded. You can put it on your website. Other people can hear it. Not just the ones listening right now, but later. Other people.
But this is why I practice out loud honesty. Helps me move my own shit that much faster.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that about you. And I love that because you practice that and you and I practice that in our friendship, we are able to have very frank conversations with one another.
Without hurting each other's feelings.
For very long. No, sometimes a troll can grab something for a second and be like, see, this is hot. You're touching that burner again. It's burning your hand. Stop talking again. See, it hurts. And then
you tell me you want to tell me to fuck off, and then we're good.
Right? We do that about once a day. We're usually pretty good.
Yeah.
So, for everybody listening, and they can relate to some or all of what it is that we're saying, and they've probably been in situations themselves like this. How do we start being our own BFF? How do we do that?
So in the same way that you separate yourself from your trolls to better manage them, you separate yourself from that needy part of you to look at yourself from a third person point of view. So what does my BFF need now? It feels so much better, so much easier, and you feel so much more in control doing it that way than that coming from that whiny, needy place. Well, what do I need now? And like, I'm still demanding stuff and I'm not happy yet. And so if you just like separate yourself, I swear I'm like advocating multiple personalities here. But look back at yourself from a third person point of view. And what does my bestie need right now? And if this person were my actual in real life bestie, what would I be doing?
Yeah, what would you be willing to give her?
And would I see that she's, beating herself up and being too hard on herself? Or would I see that she's making excuses and letting herself slide? It's like, does my bestie need care? Or does my bestie need a kick in the ass?
Which both is care, right? You're the one who says it to me all the time. Tough love is still love.
It is.
Don't get confused there, right? So those are important things. So we kind of turned it into a game.
We did.
Like, we're good at games. I love games. And if I can make somebody laugh to shift things, that's my go-to. Because everything just happens that much easier. I think it breaks down walls quicker.
Absolutely.
If we can do that. So would you mind telling people a little bit about the game?
Oh, sure. Make me tell about the game.
Well, don't worry. I'll interrupt you if you get it wrong. No.
In the hot seat. Oh, no. Right. So we're both, even though like the details are different, we're both in a place where we want to drastically create change in our lives or create drastic change.
Mm-hmm.
And we both see all those posts go by on our news feeds about like manifesting a new life is so easy. Just like be grateful and poof, it's magic. Right? And we both kind of want to call bullshit on that because, we haven't done it yet. So we wanted to create a game to see how easy it really is.
Well, and I'd like to say that, like, we were in a place where we needed a game. We were trying, like, the hard work and the no bullshit and all of that.
Show.
Pardon me?
We're totally running our show.
Yeah. And so we were like, okay, there's got to be a fun way to do this. And it can't look too much like work because I was in Hawaii at the time.
Yeah.
So it's easier to get it with the family if I'm like, oh, no, I'm just playing online for a minute. Not working on family vacation or anything. And we started by what? What did we do?
We tried to figure out all our rules, what we had to do every day, and how we would stay accountable to each other. We need to tweak that, by the way.
Yeah, we're working on it. Right?
So we decided, 5-6 things that we had to do every day?
That we got to do every day, right? It's a game. So it's not have to and need. We get to do every single day. And one of the things, if you're woo at all or you're following manifesting, if we're using the term manifesting and you know what it is that we mean, and it doesn't mean that you're counting how many cows just got on the truck with what brand and putting it in a manifest, then you're a little more on our side, and we're going to call you a little woo. You be a little woo. And one of the first things they say, first step to manifesting is gratitude. So we got to share our gratitude, create gratitude lists and be grateful and practice extreme gratitude.
And not that we're competitive or anything, but we decided on 10 things a day, and I think we've been trying to outlist each other.
Shh, don't tell them that.
I'm more grateful than you are.
Yeah. Bitch, you got nothing on my gratitude. So we did gratitude, and we talked about our goals, right?
Yes.
And Denise Duffield-Thomas, I think, is the one that first said it. She was quoting somebody else, so if you know the person she was quoting, feel free to write in and tell me I was wrong. I'm all right with that. But she said, it's really important to be in touch with your goals every single day or all the time. Like, they got to be close by so that the universe is reminded all the time of what it is that we want, right?
Brendan Burchard says something similar, but he's not woo, so he doesn't talk about manifesting.
He doesn't quite use those words,
but he does say write your goals down, like physically write them down, pen and paper, every single day.
Every single day, before you do anything else.
Yeah.
So Denise Duffield Thomas was talking about, like, write your goals down, even if it's only 2 minutes, or she might not have said 2 minutes, but that's what I've been using, because 2 minutes is easy. Write your goals down for 2 minutes. Scratch them out on a piece of paper, in your journal, on a sticky note, on a gum wrapper. Who fucking cares? But write them down every single day. Set a timer, 2 minutes, and go. And then she says the difference, like, a millionaire writes their goals down once a day, and a billionaire writes them down twice per day.
And Lisa got greedy, so she said she was going to write them down twice a day.
Yeah, I'm totally. You know what? I've been pretty darn good with that. I've been on lock with that. So 4 minutes. I can take 4 minutes out of my day. Geez, it could take me 4 minutes to come up with the next post I'm going to put on Facebook, or whether or not I'm going to scroll through my news feed. I can write my goals down twice per day. You
need 8 minutes to come up with a new program and launch it.
I know. But then I got to add it to the list, right? So there was gratitude and goals, and then...
I'm looking at the list right now because, like, Lisa's the action, like the imperfect action, impromptu, spontaneous half of this friendship, and I'm the planner. The third one was forgiveness.
All right. Yeah, I could use a little more work there.
But a lot of stories have been coming up for me since we started doing this. Things that I didn't even think were bothering me.
And they're draining, right? Like, imagine that's a script that's running beneath the surface. So if you're working on your computer, and I'm not a tech nerd, Lord knows that Kim's way closer to that than I am. But if you've got a bunch of programs that are running in the background, it's taking away energy from your computer, right? Like, it's processing things slower and reacting, like, you know, you're just like, come on, this is supposed to be high speed. Why isn't it happening? You know, what's my processor time? I gotta get this fixed. And it's the same with us. We've got stories and stuff that are running below, like beneath the surface, that we haven't called quite up into our awareness because we haven't tried to give it any attention or any thought. That's slowing us down.
Exactly. So, like, forgiveness, I think I would say forgiveness is as big as gratitude.
For sure it is.
Factor.
For sure it is. In fact, I literally sang it out of my fingers first. Forgiveness comes before gratitude in the alphabet and in the dictionary. So maybe we need to shift forgiveness to first.
Maybe we should.
You know?
Then again, maybe it doesn't matter.
Depends how much you're a stickler for rules, I guess. So what's forgiveness work look like for you? What's your forgiveness practice been like?
I don't even know how to pronounce the word. You say it.
Ho'oponopono?
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
I use that one a lot. And I like to just write it out and then let it go. Especially the really old stuff that I didn't know was bothering me. It's like, no, I'm not going to bring this into my consciousness and then sit on it. And it's just, you just fly away. You're done. No more of this story.
Right? So you use Ho'oponopono, which is like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you.
Yeah.
Right? 4 terms. And they're beautiful. There's so much power to that. And if you're listening and you're like, what the hell is that? Just write down, make a list of things that you want to, that there's some room for forgiveness work to happen. And remember that when you're forgiving something, if you're doing forgiveness work, it is never for the other person. It is always for you. So it doesn't make what happened right, you know, like, especially for me when I was working with a lot of forgiveness work, it always stemmed back to when I was sexually abused or sexually assaulted. And there was a lot of forgiveness work that needed to happen there. And I was so resistant to it at first when I used to believe that forgiveness meant that made it okay. And that's not the case. I forgive for me. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. Or
it's a letting go of the anger and the sadness and everything that's all the negative emotions that attach themselves to a situation. Forgiveness is letting those go.
And giving
it just becomes something that happened.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's like closing out a tab, you know, on your computer. Closing out a tab. Don't need that anymore. Not even sure I was looking at that, but I'll just close that. So there's Ho'oponopono. I also have been playing a lot with the Buddhist forgiveness prayer. And especially because with that one, there's a line in there that if there is a situation that I am not yet ready to forgive, I forgive myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, ooh, that's good. That's good. I'll play with that, because there are some areas like, just because I want to forgive to set myself free, it doesn't mean that I'm still ready. You know, I'm keeping that tab open. I might need to come back to that. So we have forgiveness. We have some tools. If you're curious about any of them, you know, Google's your friend, or
find either one of us on Facebook. We're friendly.
Yeah. Me more than Kim, but I mean, whatever. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, okay. So
I want to argue, but it's not true. Like, Lisa's more friendly than I am.
So there's forgiveness, there's gratitude, there's goal setting, there is looking for signs, right? We're watching for signs.
Wait.
Oh, I skipped
the
one.
signs. There's one more thing you got to do.
She's got the list. The planner, I know this is shocking to all of you listening, but the planner took the notes and then sent them to the spontaneous, like imperfect action individual who did read them. Mm-hmm.
Do you know where they are? Like, if you had to find them right now, could you, or would you ask me to send them again?
No, they're in my email. So I would just hit favorites, and there you would be. Probably like third from the top.
Right.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we get to do is take action.
Oh, how did I forget that one? Damn it!
Yeah, you are the queen of taking imperfect action. And what's funny here, you mentioned earlier that we came up with this game while you were in Hawaii. And on the notes, I wrote, take action is all in capitals, because that is so important. Like, that sitting on your couch and wishing to win the lottery, it's not going to change your life. Not even a little bit. Never mind drastically. And I wrote, take action.
Especially if you don't buy the fucking ticket.
Yeah, don't shit.
Right? And ain't happening.
And then I wrote, unless you're in Hawaii, then you bask in the wonderfulness that is your life.
Yes. So how can you take action? You've written down your goals. You've practiced your gratitude. You've done your forgiveness work. And then you got to look at the goals and be like, well, these are my goals. What can I do today to be closer to crossing one of those off the list?
And it's got to be work on those goals, not some sideline busy work.
Right? Like folding laundry. Come on now.
Yeah.
Unless you don't need that. Next. You know, what's the goal?
Hallelujah. We have permission to not fold the laundry.
Yes. You know what? Shalene Johnson said that one time on a podcast. I heard that. I looked at Chris. I'm like, never again. Yeah. He, of course, realized that it was winter when I had read that, and he just took over doing laundry, so as I was not.
Her grandmother.
Right? So,
Generation.
for me, I have some room for some action. And my action is I've got an amazing, amazing program that would love some attention and to be shared. And it's for people who want to build a business their way. They've spent money. They've tried to do it somebody else's way. They look at all the yachts and the champagne glasses and the 7-figure launches and the 6-figure launches and all of that. They want that. They've tried to follow those systems, and then it sucks their soul out through their tear duct. So they're just like, that's not working. I don't know what to do. I really want to get in alignment with who I truly am to build this business that I love. And I've got a program called the Alignment Accelerator. So I'm going to share some love and some light on that. So I'm also doing that live on my radio show. If you want to know about that, go to rebelhearted.com. There's a lovely tab there. Alignment Accelerator, $5.97 gets you aligned with your message and gives you your homepage copy. It's just awesome. Awesome, awesome. You won't find a deal like it anywhere else. So that's action. We're taking some action here. And then what? Since you have the notes in front of you.
Well, then we had our things that we wanted to do soon is like change our passwords to the amount of money that we want to make. And, I'd forgotten this one. This one needs to be, I bet it's off your list too. We need to contemplate our awesomeness.
Oh, no, I've been doing it. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I've been spending time with my awesome. I'm able to say that I was spending time with my awesome only because when I was in Hawaii, we went to a place called Sunset Beach. And you can Google it online, but I got out of the car, I took steps, I walked up the sand hill, I looked out to see the ocean with these big waves crashing, and the water colors were so different, and things were so flippin' amazing, and I went, this is my happy place. This is my happy place right here. When I'm contemplating my happiness, or my awesomeness, I am on this beach. This is where I am. And if there's a worry, I can just put it into the ocean, and those big waves will dry it right out and get rid of it. Or I can just surround myself with the absolute beauty and power that exists in every single minute if I'm willing to see it. And so I also took a video, and I spent some time watching that video and writing down how awesome I am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We had vision board on the FFA jar. You want to explain the FFA jar?
Yeah, so there's a gal named Malia Jacobs, and she's out of Seattle. She's absolutely amazing. If you're listening to this show, you need to Google her and find her, follow her. She's got great ideas, and one of the things in a session that she gave me was, she's like, sometimes we get stuck in this place where we don't feel abundant. We don't feel like we're really rocking it, and we want financial freedom. However, we don't have the means at that moment to invest $10,000 in something and watch it grow and that kind of thing. So she said, start an FFA jar. So a financial freedom account, and it can be a jar. Mine is a glass jar. It's probably a pickle jar or a pasta sauce jar that's rinsed out, and I used a Sharpie and I wrote it on there, financial freedom account. And in that jar, every single day, me and every member of my family puts a coin every day. And our financial freedom account is growing. And when the jar is full, we will take it to the bank and put it into an actual financial freedom account and grow from there. But it doesn't, so it's just proof that we can watch before our eyes that account is growing each and every single day. And
it's not just watching, it's the taking the action to make it grow.
Exactly. And I got all the members of the family on board because, it's their financial freedom as well. So if they want to play, they can play. And, when you have a 6-year-old, they get really excited about games.
Oh, my 6-year-old gets so excited about money. You have no idea.
So we have our financial freedom account and contemplate your awesomeness. Changing your passwords, that was a big one. And it wasn't even just necessarily it didn't have to be what number, what money you wanted to create. That's one that I've used. But something you want to manifest. So are you a best-selling author? Are you, is this a goal that you want to hit? Make a password that, and get rid of those tools that allow you to autofill your passwords so that you're typing them out. Your dreams are at your fingertips. Your goals are at your fingertips all day long.
Absolutely. And just to tie this in with being your own BFF, because it might sound like we veered off track, but as heads of households, as moms, as business owners, there's a lot of stuff that we have to do. All right, and I use have to, not get to deliberately. There's a lot of stuff that we have to do every single day. And we can't get to it all. And then the trolls chime in and they push us down and they put in their 2 cents into their, whatever it's called, jar. And we end up feeling like shit. So turning that work that you have to do into a game that's fun and doing it with a friend is a really, really good way to be your own BFF.
Absolutely. And it reminds you of why you're doing this. Why are you doing the laundry at the end of the day? Oh, because I was playing earlier, and because these goals are kept at the forefront of my mind.
Yeah. And this game helps us to do the really hard stuff. Like, you had some hard things on your action list in the past few days.
Oh, yes.
I don't know that if it weren't for clearing shit up to make room for new shit, I don't know if you would have done it so soon. I know you would have done it because I know you.
Yeah, no, I would have been ostriched in the backyard. Like, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, because if I open my mouth, I get dirt in it.
But yeah, so it's not about, the game in and of itself is fun, but the things that we have to do to make it move forward are not always fun. They're not always easy, but it gives it a framework so that it feels good even when it's hard.
Absolutely. Definitely. And then there's one thing that I know that I have not yet done that I want to, and that's set alarms in my phone all the time to congratulate me on milestones that I've hit. And there's things that are still out in the future, but I want to draw them in closer. So I want that constant reminder, you know? Like, hey, congratulations for the 44 weeks this far on the New York Times bestselling list. That's awesome.
That is awesome. I've been resisting doing that because I already have so many alarms going off for like the 3 kids and my own stuff, all the appointments and everything.
But what if you had a fun alarm?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. It's like, is more alarms a good thing? Will it like get on my nerves, or will it shake things up a little? I'll try it.
I was gonna say, like, hey, I know. Why don't you take action on it, try it, and then you can decide whether or not it works.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
I like it. So we were talking about the one sign, Kim, about like, hey, check yourself before you wreck yourself, and you were like, it was so funny, not funny, haha, but on this one day that.
Yeah. So, me being the planner, I'm the one who said we need a sign for this, and Lisa, the first thing that popped into Lisa's head was crime scene tape.
Of course it is.
And I'm like, I've seen crime scene tape once in my life, and never again, dude. Like, no. And if like my sleepy little town of 5,000 people turns into like crime central because I'm like supposed to be getting signs to check myself, I'm going to be very unhappy. And it wasn't 2 days later, I was taking a walk, and there was crime scene tape all around, like 2 houses and the street in front of them. And I sent you a text, and it's like, oh my God, there's crime scene tape right there.
Yes, man. And we didn't have to kill anybody to get the warning, and we got to check in with one another and see where we were at.
It's funny you should say that, though, because it wasn't attempted murder. I found out later.
Crazy, hey?
Yeah.
So we get those signs. We also have like the number, if we see 222 popping up places, that's our sign to check in.
Our number is 2, and like the more 2s we see, the more urgent it is to check in.
Right. I like that.
So if I see a phone number with 7 2s in it, I will like drop everything I'm doing and like check in with you right away. If I just see a 1 2, I'll wait until I have a minute and then I'll check in with you.
Yeah, but if it's like, oh man. So that's like the gist of our game, right?
Yeah.
And how have you felt? Like, so we've been playing this game for about 3 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find it?
It depends on my trolls. Most days I like it, and I see myself moving forward, and I can feel the shifts happening. It's easier to be on my own team rather than against myself. But there are some days, man, that the trolls, especially with the gratitude, I was going to have a chat about that on my page tomorrow, but trolls can really mess with gratitude.
Oh, for sure they can.
I don't know how yours handle your gratitude exercise, but mine like to say, why are you being grateful for shit you don't want? You're basically telling the universe that you're okay with this, and this is what you're going to be stuck with forever. Even though I know that's not how it works. That's like my trolls. It's like infiltrate. And then it's like, I don't want to be grateful for this. I want more.
Right? Give me more. The trolls are like, no, focus on what you don't have. Do that. Yes. We promise it'll bring you what you want.
Like it's done so many times before.
Yeah. I know for me, the biggest shift, and I've talked about this on my radio show a few times, the biggest shift for me when it came to gratitude was I stopped just writing I'm grateful for, and I started writing I'm so happy and so grateful for. And that just made the difference. Because when I go to write down the happy part, if I'm not happy, then I anchor it to a time where I just felt that I was happy. When was I happy? You know? When was the last time I was happy? Okay, great. I've got that feeling tone. Now I can use that to help carry me into gratitude and into, whatever it is that I'm writing about.
I like that.
So
one thing I do that helps me is I get very specific. So if I were to say, like, I'm often grateful for the people in my life. So
especially me, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, that's my example because you're right there. So why not tell you what I'm grateful for? And in keeping with my practice of out loud honesty and just like being super straight with myself, I'm often grateful for how you call me out when I'm hiding, when I'm bullshitting, and how you don't let me slide. But I don't just say I'm grateful for Lisa. I'm grateful for Lisa because. And then that one thing that I'm grateful for can turn into 50 things super easily.
Especially when you're talking about me.
Oh, of course.
I'm so happy and so grateful that I am so modest. Yes? Because I love that. I think that's awesome. So this game is a great way to be your own BFF. Making sure that you refer to your BFF in third person allows you to step further and further into that role. When we are our own BFFs, we're able to look out for our own needs, make sure that our cup is full so that we still have the energy to move forward towards our own goals and our own dreams, and as well as nourish ourselves, nurture, those closest to us, and still have energy left over to give to others, correct?
Yep.
But when you do it wrong, like backwards, when you flip it and you give to everybody way outside the circle first, and then those closer to you, and then those closest to you, and then get to yourself, you're like, no, there's nothing left. I'm resentful. I'm drained. I'm burnt out. There's no room here.
Absolutely.
There's no room at the inn. You cannot even have a manger. We are full here.
When there's no room at the inn, that's when you have to go stay under the bridge with the trolls.
Right? Because you've burnt the inn down. Like, I know when I get close to burnout. And I have danced very, 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 very close to that lately. So this timing of this game is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
And just before we close out, like what it boils down to is that it's not anybody else's job to love you the way that you want to be loved. It's your job to love you the way you want to be loved.
Mm-hmm. And then let other people know very clearly what it is that you're needing from them.
Yes, because mind reading is only a thing if you're dialing a 1-900 number.
Oh no! You can find some psychic biz coaches too, but they're not here.
I have.
And that's not to knock them. Like those people that's their branding that works really well for them. But for the most part, the people that you're dealing with, they are not mind readers. And it's really unfair to be really pissed off of people like not being able to read your mind when you did not provide them with a guidebook.
Or to not follow the guidebook, even if you do provide it, because they're under no obligations.
Very true. Be like, it's not my fault you don't have the latest revision. I changed it 5 minutes ago. What the hell? If you loved me, you would have, So those of you listening, you may not be there. You may not be in this place where you're like, yeah, people are telling me that I'm not loving them the way that they need to be. Because if people are telling you that you're not loving them the way that you should be loving them, chances are that that's a mirror that you're not loving yourself in the way that you are needing it. So you're getting that external message mirrored back to you to get your attention. If you're just getting to that place of being burnt out or feeling resentful or like in that blame game, it's time to be your own BFF. It's your turn for some love.
It is. And just because you're awesome and I love you, and therefore I love your listeners because they must be awesome too.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody needs help getting started being their own BFF, find me on Facebook, send me a private message, and we'll get you started. Like, I'm not saying I'll coach you for 6 months, but we can have a conversation and get you going in the right direction.
Okay, so even though I am my own BFF now, and that's moving forward, that's definitely where my attention is. Kim is also one of my BFFs, and I work with her very frequently, daily, to remind me to be my own BFF. So she gives you very high-end support with that. So say yes to the call with her. And then if you're really ready to make those changes in your life and go after your goals for real, then I would look at working with her one-on-one or in whatever way that Kim has available to work with her, right?
Right, absolutely.
How do they find you?
To take it back to what we said at the beginning of the call, you're friendlier than I am. I tell it like it is, and I will be really blunt. So if you need a gentler touch, I'm not the person to be helping you with this. But if you're at that point where you need someone to tell you, okay, well, this is it, no bullshit, then hit me up. You can find me on Facebook, .com/Kimberly Lin Pollard. Lin is spelled L-I-N because I'm special.
You very, very special.
Or if you want my business page, it's /Kimberly Lin Pollard 1.
There you go. And she posts a lot of really great stuff on her biz page. And if you're lucky enough and she accepts a friend request from you, you get to see some other snarky stuff that she posts too, which I just absolutely love. So if you can handle me, it's likely you can handle Kim. Right? There's the best testimonial I got. If you put up with me for this long, you can probably handle Kim too. Kim, this has been a blast, an absolute blast. I thank you so much for being on Rebel Hearted Radio with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, my pleasure. And if you want to know more about our game or how it is that you can be your own BFF, Kim told you how to get a hold of her. With me, it is Lisa Freed on Facebook, or you can go to rebelhearted.com and check me out. That will lead you into my private Facebook group, which is always a fun place to be, according to...
You can find both of us in there.
Yeah, Kim comes and plays there too. And we'd love to help you really move forward with this, because you deserve to have a BFF that always has your back and will let you know if your ass looks fat in that. And so let's cultivate that relationship with yourself, right?
Absolutely.
I would love to thank Kim for being here. All the people that are listening to the show, thank you so much. Those of you that will listen to it later, to my amazing stand-up production team. Nesha, you are amazing. Bold Radio Station, thank you so much for being there and supporting Rebel Hearted Radio. And I wish you a day as absolutely beautiful as you, and I hope that we get to connect on a deeper personal level very, very soon. So much love. Mwah! Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us on the Rebel Hearted Radio Show. Is your wild child still left wanting more? Contact Lisa further at rebelhearted.com and step into your rebel-hearted self.